Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. This is the Benin Empire Advancement League. Today with me, our Honorable Vice President, Mr. Ju Maui Osamo Jamin Orukbe. And also joining us, I'm saying it right now, Mr. Joe Wise, also one of the honorable and executive leaders of this great organization. I hope we can be able to fix the network problem we are having right now. Good afternoon, sir. Can you hear me? Can any one of you hear me? So let's see if any one of them can hear my voice. So I have to reposition myself because we are going to be sharing the screen. Yeah, today we were trying to be talking about the situation in our state today. In our state, in Edo State, and in Nigeria as a whole, because Benin people always say, or the Edo people always say, Adole Woji, say, I'm talking about this issue because of what is going on in Edo State today between our able governor, I don't know if I have to say able, and our great holy land and the traditional ruler of our empire. The issue is very, very upsetting, to say the fact. I'm sorry for the network interruption that is really going on. And let's see if we can be able to manage the whole issue. The situation required urgent attention from the Edo people, from the palace, and from all well-meaning Edo people, not just organization in Nigeria, nor the organization in Europe. People have been trying to form some certain frontline or organization to confront this issue. We, the Great Benin, the Benin Empire Advancement League, we are going to be playing only a role because we are a peaceful organization, and our engagement is quite defined by our constitution. Many people might be questioning our motives and why we are not playing a very important role. We are doing that in our own form, and we are doing that the peace among the Beninese, or those who are for and those who are against, that remains intact, because when Nedogama, Negoerama, Emahiayi, but my Ekine, that way Ekine, Utogi before we go to where we are going to, I'm still trying to see if my co-moderators, they are valuable now. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Okay. Yeah, good morning, sir. You are welcome back. If you are only waiting,
thank you very much. The network is pretty bad.
Yes, I can see that. And our executive member also, Mr. Joe Wise, I believe is strongly with his network, because I can see him here, but I cannot see his video or picture, as we may define it. So today we were trying to talk about the marginalization of the South in Nigeria, and why we will remain marginalized. this is supposed to be the topic of our honorable executive leader, one of our executive leader, Mr. Joe Wise, but I don't know what is wrong with his network. It's like we are being confronted with several network failure today. But notwithstanding, we are going to do the live show and on the live broadcast the way we can do it. So the South, as we all know, in Nigeria, is the food basket or the financial basket of the nation. But we are not, in the sense, profiting for all these natural resources, the well-educated people from the South, we cannot see them in the federal level in good positions. Or the wealth of Nigeria that is always taken from the South, that is used in other parts of Nigeria, like the eastern part of Nigeria and the western part of Nigeria and the northern part of Nigeria. We cannot receive the same amount they're having. They have more delegates than the South, who is responsible for the financial of this nation, financing this nation. And we are trying to look into the whole situation while we remain marginalized as we are today. So, sir, Honorable Vice President, I want to ask you a question. What do you think, and how do you think we can be able to go out of this marginalization that is being imposed on us? I can say imposed on us by our people themselves, who are refusing to support each other in all the government level or in election we have been doing. So I want to know, how can we fix the whole situation? How can we bring up cooperation between South, the governors and others? So can you give us a little, can you enlighten us a little bit, sir, about the whole situation?
All right. First of all, good morning to our viewers out there, wherever you are around the world. My name is Joe Osamudiame Maoli Okwe, and I'm joining live from Accra. Okay, Mr. President, as regards your question, I think one of the things that needs to be done is there needs to be a political re-engineering in Nigeria. The political structure of the political space right now, the structure has to be abolished, and a new structure has to be put in place. It is obviously clear that we cannot operate with this political structure we have now, because it's loop-sided, it's not working. It's obviously not working. We've tried everything in the past 22 years, and it's obviously not working. Now, what I think we can do is we can decide to go back to regionalism with equal representation for all the regions, irrespective of what people think. Because when you look at the representation in the north, you could clearly see that it was done in such a manner that it would favor the north, But also, when we talk about the north, we would have to start actions. Questions like, who really is the north? Because we have to define whether states like Benue, Kogi, Kwara, Abuja are also part of the north, And so these are questions we need to ask ourselves, For me, I do not think these states are part of the north, because when you look at, for instance, Benue and Kogi, historically, part of Benue and Kogi used to be a part of the ancient Benin Empire, and geographically, we cannot say it is north. You understand? And so you notice that in the Fourth Republic, there's been this new political definition of the geographies in Nigeria. Now we have north central, northeast, northwest. We have southeast, southwest, and we have south-south. You know, so the question is, if you have northeast, northwest, and you have north central, you know, we begin to ask ourselves, okay, shouldn't we have you know, um, a regional arrangement based on these you know, geographical definitions, these new geographical definitions that the political class is running around with, you know? So we could have 6 regions, for instance, and we can have equal representation in those 6 regions. You know, I have always said that politicians cannot be trusted and should not be trusted in any way. I have always held to my belief that governance should be, you know, go back to the traditional institutions. The traditional institutions need to play a more important role, a more visible role in the day-to-day running of the affairs of the people. That is my belief. It's not going to change. I do not think there is any other superior arguments, you know, to change this belief, because we have seen how the United Emirates has been able to conduct itself, and I do not think that those who run the United Arab Emirates have 7 heads. I think the reason why it's working is because there seems to be a conscious effort by the leadership to deliver the dividends of democracy to these people. You understand?
Yeah.
I, for instance, think that if we have some sort of monarchical democracy, the dependency on politics by these stars we have in our political space today will be drastically reduced. Now, people might say absolute power. Those who make claims for absolute power are ignorant of the history, the political history of the various kingdoms in that makes up Nigeria today. You know, for instance, in Edo, present day Edo, we used to have the ancient Benin Empire. The Oba never had absolute power. That's a clear fact. And I think people should understand this. Now, when you look at the ancient Oyo kingdom, the Alafi of Oyo never had absolute power, you know. And also there are various smaller clans and traditional rulers all across Nigeria. When you look at their history, you find out that they never had absolute power. What people tend to define as absolute power is a connivance with a traditional council and a sitting king at that time to inflict untold hardship and terror on the people. Historically, we have found out that in some cases, in many cases, when a king
the issue of network is something that we cannot really help as of the moment. Yes, as he was saying, absolute power was not given to any king in the Benin Empire. That is why we have the Uzamas and all other chiefs that help the Obas to govern the Benin Empire before. And we were having the Inogie, who were situated in different regions, governing those regions. And we also have the Ohens, which also play a part like the Enogie and also the chief priest of any shrine of the great ancestors. And we also have the Odion Werej, which was the eldest person or the eldest male in the village or in that region, who also take up the leadership. Where we are today, Okagele and others, really Okagele is a servant to the Edions of every village. Kagele doesn't have any role to play that period. It was a messenger. He will be sent a message by the Edions, and he has to deliver that message. So sorry for that. Sorry for the interruption. So this in the South where we have today the restructuring we are supposed to be doing. Like you said, part of Kogi State, we have some Benins, our Benin brothers and sisters there, and some part of the Kwara State, we also have them there. And even in Imo, in some part of East, we also have our people there. So if Nigerian is going to be restructured, it should be restructured that every ethnic group has to have a say. Not the one we are having today, the Igbos and the Yorubas and the Hausas dominate the day in and day out of Nigeria. Because these people feel they own Nigeria. And we should start telling them, Nigeria doesn't belong to you. You have been destroying Nigeria for a very long time. Now it's time we take the ownership of Nigeria. Because the South owns the revenue of Nigeria, owns the oil of Nigeria, owns all other mineral resources of Nigeria, like gas and others that we are using today. We can see all the whole economic of Nigeria today, from federal to local government, is being sponsored by South. And upon all this, we are still being marginalized, and people doesn't really understand what is going on. So it is time the South come together, come in the form of unity, no matter the party you belong. Because if you look at what happened in Abuja the other day, in the nomination that was going on, the South, they were so disorganized, and likewise the East, they were so disorganized, money hungry, that they forgot their people, whom they are supposed to be supporting. People might be calling me tribalist. I'm not a tribalist, but what needs to be done needs to be done. This 3 tribe has been ruling Nigeria and running Nigeria like their own private property, right from creation. And this is why we are in this mess we are today. The Igbos, the Yorubas, and the Hausas brought us this mess we are today. Not the Benis, not the TVs, and not the other ethnic groups, other smaller ethnic groups in Nigeria. We have to start asking ourselves questions. Do we allow ourselves to remain in this mess where we are today if we continue to be voting these people into power? Okay, look at Tinubu. Tinubu couldn't even hold a flag. I'm not laughing at him because he's sick, but I'm saying this for people to understand where we are driving to. Where we are driving to. We were having a situation where Buhari was over 2 months not in Nigeria, where Nigeria was not even having a government. He was taking a treatment in London or whatsoever. And now we are also driving to that direction, where Tinubu will be going to London 3 months, 4 months to take treatment of what I believe he has Parkinson. And people don't understand that, because what Parkinson means, when you look at people when they are shaking, when they cannot hold something, they can't control themselves. That's a symptom of Parkinson. And we can see this in Tinubu. If we vote Tinubu into power today, then we are going to be having a situation where Nigeria will not be having a government. where everyone who is in the government will be feeding their pockets and do whatever they want. When you go to the issue of Atiku, I can remember what Obasanjo just said about Atiku. I don't know if people remember that, because Benin always say, or those people always say, Etegari, Aye, Obalo. That means if the sore or the wound in your body, if it's recovered, sometimes it doesn't remember the pain you endure or you have to endure. We should look at that, because Atiku was once a vice president of Obasanjo, and we knew what Obasanjo said about Atiku that period. And then we come to the issue of Peter Obi, which so many of my state people are just supporting blindly today. We should look at his past record, and I believe people will also have something to say. So I will give the microphone back to our Honorable Vice President to continue where he stopped before the network disrupted us. So thank you, sir. You are welcome back.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, President. I think it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, I really didn't know where I stopped now, but I'll just go over it again. I said
Yes,
there was a need for us to have a sovereign national conference where the desires of the people or the aspirations of the people will be discussed. We need to know, the people need to determine how they want to be governed, who they want to govern them, and the duration in which they want, these leaders to hold office. Yes. I also think we need to first define how we got to where we are today. And in doing so, it would help us understand so many mistakes we have made, and the roles some people have played to deliberately put the country in the situation it is finding itself today. I've always said it, when the British came, they took power, they usurped power, they stole power from the monarchs, looted and plundered every part of Nigeria. Yes. Now, when they were leaving, they didn't hand over power back to the monarchs. They created a political system that would benefit them and got private citizens, private individuals who they have seen to be greedy and had an insatiable thirst for power. They groomed those people with the pretense of, having multi-party democracy, and handed over power to these people, knowing fully well that these people have no connection with the masses. And we have seen how these people, these private citizens who have become the political class, have steered the ship of Nigeria since 1957. It's been from one chaos to the other. We have seen how even people like Awolowo, how they made a fortune out of the misadventures of Nigerians. You could go to the east, you could say the same thing. You could go up north, you could say the same thing. We have seen how retired military generals, have become overnight billionaires. People who do not have anything to show, who cannot even defend the source of their wealth. And they have plundered. You see, the political system today is a system that benefits the neo-colonialists. It is a system that benefits people who do not have a connection with the cities of this country. And that is why I have always said that practicing monarchical democracy would benefit us more, because it's going to cut the costs of governance drastically. It is going to cut the governance drastically, and it would give enough time for monarchs to be able to go about establishing, setting up projects that are going to be beneficial to the people. I'm going to explain this to you so that we can understand where we have found ourselves. You have a constitution that says a term is 4 years. And so a man contests for election, he wins election. Now it takes him 6 months to 1 year to settle down in office. He sends a budget to the parliament. The budget is passed. He's already behind schedule.
Yes.
Now he takes that budget into the next second year and tries to implement certain things. By the time the second year is done, he goes into the third year. That's an election year. And so parties will already start having their primary. The fourth year is where there's the election proper. So you find in 4 years, the man only has just about 1 year, 6 months to govern. And that is what it is. When he eventually seeks re-election and wins the second term, he needs to now recalibrate his government. And so he has the first year in his second term and year in his second term. Then by the third year, he's already battling to impose a successor. And there's a party primary again. So you find out that in 8 years, the politician just has about 3 years to govern. And some of us have looked into this situation and we have found out that it is not beneficial to the people. Because we've never had a time that the president of this country, a governor or the local government chairman, is owed salary.
Yeah.
We've never had a time where an ex-president or an ex-governor is owed pension. But take a look at those who have suffered, who have toiled to make this nation great. The teachers, the doctors, the nurses, civil servants, public servants, they are always owed gratuities, always owed salaries. The political class is living large on the masses.
Yes.
They have all sorts of allowances, hardship allowance, newspaper allowance, accommodation allowance, property allowance, wardrobe allowance. When they travel abroad, they have extra codes. So you can see that these people who say they are putting themselves forward to serve us are actually the ones we are serving.
Exactly.
And so this political system itself is not that of servitude. It's a slave-master political arrangement where politician is the slave master and we, the citizens, are the slaves. And clearly that's what it is. And so this system cannot work. And I have said that Nigeria is not going to work as long as this system exists. Because the politician has no connection to the people.
Exactly.
They just see the people as a willing tool. That is what it is. And so what we see in southern Nigeria is a reflection of the system. The system was created to function that way. And that is why you see people go to the bank, acquire loan, sell their properties so that they can bribe dates, so that they can be party flag bearers. When there's a national election or a statewide election, you have the same people, just like we've seen in Ekiti State, engage in vote buying. Now, when these people get into power, they are not going to feel any remorse, any empathy on the masses. The first thing they think of is how they are going to recoup the money they have spent. And that is what we see today. And that is why you see the politicians are willing to punish their people. And I have always said it. The APC and the PDP would rather merge as a political party than for them to allow power to be handed over to nationalists, to patriots, to people who can change the system. Because the APC and the PDP is made up of criminals.
Yes.
The earlier we realize it, the better for us. The APC and the PDP, as we see today, 80 to 85% of the major players in those parties are thieves.
Yes.
From the governors to the presidents to the ex-presidents, State House of Assembly members, Federal House of Legislative members, to the and local government chairman. These people are thieves. You don't even need to believe what I'm saying. Just look around you. 22 years of civil rule. Our roads are still not motorable, yet there are budgets for them. We have sold power to private entities, yet we do not have power. Our ports are not working. The railway is not working. The educational sector is comatose. Our health system is cash and carry. Yet we have budgets for the past 22 years. For all those things, it clearly shows to you that the people who have held this country to ransom in the last 22 years. They have stolen, they have looted, they have plundered our commonwealth. That is what it is. And I am baffled that we still have youths in the country today who are sitting down in the discomfort of their homes and championing the cause of these political parties. I am surprised. Youth who are at home because ISEE is on strike are still advocating for these political parties. Youth who cannot even work because they could be kidnapped are sitting down in the discomfort of their homes and are asking us to vote for these political parties. It helps me. It clearly shows you that the people love their chains. It clearly shows you that the people love their slave masters. It clearly shows you that the people are willing players. They have willfully played their parts in this total national misfortune, national tragedy that we have found ourselves today. In the case of the South-South, there is no difference between the politician in the South-South, politician in the South-West. There is no difference between the politician in the South-South and the politician in the South-East. These people do not consult the people. They do not think about the people. They only want to loot, steal, carry our money and invest in Europe, buy properties in Dubai and in Americas. That is what they are interested in doing. They are not interested in creating jobs. They are not interested in creating an enabling environment where people can dream, where the aspirations of the people can be met. They're not interested in all that.
No.
What they are interested in is to just loot. And you see, the Europeans keep telling us that there's so much corruption in the system. But let us ask the Europeans, where are the money kept? In the European banks. Who is aiding these corrupt politicians? European lawyers. That is it. So there is so much hypocrisy going all around in the system. Because the politician is benefiting from the system, the Europeans are benefiting from the system. Now the Asians have joined in this whole movement,
yeah,
and they are paying our resources on a daily basis. There is no accountability anywhere. No accountability. And that is that is the situation we have found ourselves today. And that is why, for me, I have always insisted that we need to hand power back to the monarchs. Because let me explain this. When we had the ancient kingdom, we had the council, the traditional council, deliberate on issues. King. These people did everything they did selflessly. Sometimes they were compensated for their service to the people. Many a times they were not. The monarch did not need a minister that is on a payroll. We had our dukes who were head of the dukedoms, and they controlled the political affairs in their own areas. They did not need commissioners. They had their own traditional councils. Then when you go down a little bit, we have the Ogiames. And they had a way of, organizing their own local areas too. And everything they did from their hearts for the well-being of their people, asking for nothing in return. But look at the political system today. We have the president. We feed the president. We cater for the president's health. We accommodate the president. We ferry the president in the best of cars. We secure the president with the best of the security. The people who are feeding, who are accommodating the president, they don't have food to eat. They don't have roof over their head. The people whose commonwealth is secure the president are living in insecurity. These people who provide for 24-hour power supply for the president are sleeping in darkness. Now, when the president retires from office, he gets ex gratia. He's paid for the rest of his life. He chooses to go anywhere he wants to go at the expense of the people. What kind of system is this? It clearly shows that there's a total disconnect. And that is why I have always held the opinion that this system is not going to work until we go back to how it used to be. We can have a monarchy system, a monarchical democracy, where the Oba of Benin, for instance, is the head of state in his own region. Then we can have private individuals who would contest to be in parliament, so we can have a parliamentary system. Then we can have the dukes, the energies, handle their own areas. Then we have the police under the control, the direct control of the monarch.
Yes.
Now the monarch is not a partisan politician, so he's going to be able to adjudicate and pass judgment that is fair because it's not partisan. That is a system that works where there are no state governors, because there is no need for all this. You see, we are just creating more mess.
Exactly.
And that is why nothing is working, Mr. President. That's just all I have to say for now.
Okay, thank you very much. I always enjoy your view and your advice as well. Thank you very much for that. So our honorable, one of our honorable leader is back, the person of Joe Wise. So I hope he also contribute his part in this moment. So you are welcome, sir. Please just introduce yourself a little bit so that we can move on to the next stage. Oh, we are having a. Okay, sir. Just a moment. But doesn't have tone. It's like you have to unmute your microphone. Okay, just say something so that we know if we can hear you or not. No, we can't hear you. Okay. As our secretary keep working on this microphone, let me just add a little why Nigeria is what Nigeria is in this situation today, where Nigeria is. In the olden days, before the British came to the land of the Benin Empire, or the so-called Nigeria yet, where we are now, there was only one known king, a known government in this region, you know, and this was the Benin Empire, the king of Benin. Okay, no, sorry for the interruption. So there was only one no king, and this king was the king of the Benin Empire. And the people who called themselves Yoruba today, there was no king. In that fact, there was no kingdom. They were province. Likewise, the Igbo, there was no king, and there was no pattern of government. So this is why where we are suffering today, because these people, they doesn't have knowledge of ruling, of administrative. They don't have any feeling for their people. Before then, Benin has been able to produce so many leaders, great kings. We have also autonomous governments in everywhere who only pay homage to the Benin Empire, who rules themselves. But when we look at the situation, the British knew exactly what they were doing when they were leaving Nigeria, why they were handovering power to these people, because they knew exactly they can be able to manipulate these people anytime they want to manipulate them. And this is what is going. That is why Nigeria was a company. You know that it's a new company. Even as we are talking today, the British still play a heavy role in the government of Nigeria, making decisions and others. Without the British signing any government in Nigeria, the government is not going to function. What they needed to do was to surpass with these people, with these three sets of people, to make sure these people remain in power, that the Benin's never come up. Because they know when the Benin come up, Nigeria is going to rise. Nigeria is going to rise. Nigeria will be having a great government. But the British will not allow that because they are so afraid of the Benin Empire, because they knew if the Benin Empire rise and taking over his rightful place in Nigeria, the Nigeria government is going to be like the one in Dubai or all other countries, you know, like and other areas. So the Nigerian government you are seeing today, they are not dependent. They are independent. They depend on all decision making from foreign countries. From America, we have a great influence. From the British, we have a great influence. From the European Union, even from the APEC, Asian economic power. Look at what China is doing in our land today. They are coming with the protest of investing in our land. Why they are looting us? Why our leaders are blind to see this? People doesn't really understand. If you go to, even Nigeria is a little bit okay, but go to other countries like Ghana, where these people will just set up a mining industry without even a license, taking the gold out of Ghana even without the approval of the Ghana government. Likewise, Nigeria, the same thing is happening in Nigeria today. We are having government who doesn't have control over their own governance. The only thing they do, if anybody stand up and say something, they will call the army to deal with everybody. So the South has it on its hand before this nomination, but they refuse to utilize this opportunity that we'll be having. Because if you vote for Peter Obi, you are voting for an Igbo man who has been ruling the nation Nigeria. If you vote for Atiku, you will vote for an Hausa Fulani man who has been ruling Nigeria for over 60 years. If you vote for Tinubu, you will vote for a person, a Yoruba person, who also contributed at least 60% of the problem we are having today in Nigeria. So things are not going to change if we don't want things to change. Look at the vote buying. Look at the huge amount of money that is being used to buy votes. If we use that money to create at least 3 industries or companies, a technological companies in Nigeria, I believe they were able to employ more people in the future. I am not blaming the youth, because the youth only pick what they learned from their elders. They just look what the elders are doing, and this is what they are picking. When I look at the other day, an interview from one of our elders statement saying he doesn't blame the youth for collecting this money because they need it. This money is being looted from us. It's like you are supporting what is going on in that country, because the youth is lack of direction. They doesn't know where they are going to. They don't know where they are coming from. This is the time to start educating our youth, to allow them to know that stomach pain is not just only for one day. You eat today, you belly full, but tomorrow is another day. Because that food you ate today will only serve you today. Tomorrow you'll be hungry again. And this was the time. Because there's a parable, or there's a say in Edo language. Agagbemila yamuji johamegbe. Ede ayevegbe ohameyevegboman. If you kill a cow today to satisfy the hungry you are having today, tomorrow you will still go hungry. But you can prepare for tomorrow, that you won't go hungry, that you still have a little to eat for tomorrow. This is what our youth is not doing. And this is what our leaders are not teaching. And this is what our leaders are not investing in, because they are profiting from it. They are enjoying it. They are enjoying when our people come to lie down for them, to say, Baba, Baba, Baba. And I think that's the behavior of the Yorubas. And the Igbos, they start saying, Eziogu, 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 you know. And the Hausas, I know how they do it. They just lie down and say some sort of things. And these are people you don't even know about before they come into political arena. All people now will be lying down on, they will be cooking day in and day out in their house, having people. People will now be just like a slave to them. I have never seen such a thing in Europe since I entered Europe. Party nomination is being done by vote. You vote it from your house. And when you go there where the delegates come in to nominate, everybody sit down, you sit on your seat and you drop your card. Somebody will be taking the bus, or everybody will be going there to drop his card on the bus to nominate the person he wants to nominate. There's nothing like money sharing. So it's a disgrace to the nation Nigeria, because Nigeria is only a name, because it's a disgrace to the citizens of Nigeria doing that. I am not saying the Europeans and the Americans, they are not corrupt. They are fully corrupt as our politicians, but they make something out of it. They make something out of it. The money that is coming out of this corruption is also invested in their own land. They don't take it to any other land. It's been invested in their land. It's not taken to any other land to go and invest it, or to go and put it in a savings bank in another country. Hardly see it. There's no country that is more corrupt than European countries or the American countries. But our own is in a different level, because we don't keep what we have in our country. We take what we have, we take it to another people to help them develop. So it is time we start fighting for ourselves, because these people, they are not coming to build our country. We are going to build our country ourselves. And if we are dividing the country today, the country called Nigeria, I believe everybody should take what they brought in. The Benin Empire will take what he brought into Nigeria, and the Northerners, they will take their own part. The middle belt, the Easterners, what they brought in, the Westerners, what they brought in. You don't expect now to do land grabbing from other people to enrich yourself. And when we talk about dividing this country, I don't think that is the rightful way to say the fact, because it is these people who are still in power. They will remain in power in those countries. They are still going to be managing the affairs of that country day in and day out. Because I believe every black citizen or every black man in this world, we are families. We are brothers and sisters. We need to care for each other. That is why I'm saying this, that it will not be in the best interest of black people, because black people, they are very, very proud of Nigeria, that country, Nigeria. No matter what everyone will say, if you go out today and say you are Nigeria, oh, Nigeria. If you go out and say Togo, they will ask you, where is Togo? But everybody knows Nigeria. Everybody knows Nigeria is the powerhouse of Africa. And that is why it's so disgraceful that we cannot be able to be managing our affairs. And people will be calling on other countries to be managing our affairs for us. When I listen to some people who says, we should bring in the British to come and do it for us, they forgot what the British did to us. The British, especially from the South. Today, if you go to the Caribbean, you see the citizens of South. You go, just go to the Dominican Republic, Jamaica, Haiti, and so on. These are South citizens. That's what's taken from us with full force. And when they tell you what they go through, then you will now know that there's a good reason the British shouldn't step their footstep in our territory again. Not just only that, what they did to our people in Nigeria, what they did to our kinship, our pattern system of government, what they did. The South should have learned from that, because that's why I make this statement before, because this is what the Benin always said. Etegarie ayubalo. If the soul or the wounds you were having, if it heals, then you will never remember the pain you endured. And this is what is wrong with us. We are not learning from our mistakes. Instead of learning from our mistake, we are even infusing more mistakes into our problem. And that is the problem we're having. So, are you back, sir? Honorable Vice, Honorable Secretary, can you hear me now? Say something so that I know if you are hearing me. Can you hear me? Okay, let me send him a message, because I wanted him to contribute his part. So, can you hear me? So sorry, it's like he cannot hear me. Okay. So he can't hear me. The technical problem also remains because our vice president already left, and because of the network problem. I believe we have to do some research while we're having this issue time after time, and let's see what we can do about it. So the system of which I was talking about, this problem is not just Nigeria, but especially our West African brothers and sisters. We have this problem. If you go to the East Africa, they just have another mentality. They have the mentality of freedom. They have the mentality of self-determination, not to be governed by any foreign power. If you go to West Africa, you always hear people say the British should come and repair it. The British should come and repair it. Who is going there to repair British for them? They are doing it themselves. They are not waiting for Obi. They are not waiting for Tinubu. They are not waiting for Atiku to do it for them. They are doing it themselves. And they are very, very successful in doing it. They learn from their mistake. They know how to vote out their leaders, their bad leaders. But we continue to vote our bad leaders in. That is the problem. The Nigeria youth need a direction. They need a sense of direction. Because you cannot just take power without knowing what to do with the power. If you said as a youth you need power, let us see what you did in the nomination period. Let's see your handwriting was so poor. It was so poor that I will not even advise the old people to give you power, because it's going to be a total destruction then of what we saw. We need to start growing ourselves, especially the people from the old Benin Empire. Because if Nigeria continue this way, one day there will be no Nigeria. We will be having ourselves. How do we manage ourselves? From my own, I would prefer a monarchical pattern of government where our monarch will have at least 75% of the power be given to them with the help of the whole citizens. The other people should be a sort of democratic elected president and the other form. The army, the police should be brought under our traditional rulers. Because we know in the old days, the Benin Empire was having police, the Ogbalegbe, who used to brought message to other people. We were having our army who defend our citizens. They don't go after unarmed citizens or something like that. So we need to do something, preparing ourselves for the worst case scenario, because it's coming. And I believe it's coming because if Yoruba lost, if Igbo lost, then we are going to be coming to something like it's called hazardous situation, where we will continue fighting ourselves, even in the South, because we are too money hungry. We have leaders who are so self-centered, who believe they can be insulting other people, who believe they are not there to respect our people or our traditional rulers. These people, they should be evicted from power. They shouldn't even come closer to power if you don't respect our traditional rulers. No matter what happens, our traditional rulers, they have been able to keep us together till this present day. It wasn't the work of a governor, nor a work of the government of Nigeria. The work of the government of Nigeria was to divide us in a way that we wouldn't even recognize ourselves, that will not even be represented. So I am saying this because of what we are seeing today. Sorry, I have to type something because
So can you hear me, sir?
yeah, I can hear you now. You are welcome. Yeah,
No,
I can hear you now loud and clearly. So
sorry for the technical issues I have been facing over here.
Yeah, we understand, sir.
I've been hearing some of the things that have been said, and as very many as well.
Yes.
Was I not privileged to actually hear due to the technical issues? I don't know if I can.
Yes, I continue, sir.
Something now.
Yeah, you can go on, sir.
Yeah, the matter at hand, in my own perspective, and as known to history, I know that the issue that has led to this level started onset right from the forceful creation of Nigeria as a nation. If we take a critical look at the entire situation, Nigeria as it stands is not really a nation, but rather nations merged forcefully without the will of the people into one.
Yes.
I heard you talking about the British, how they they brought Nigeria together and all that.
Yeah.
It is obvious that the Nigeria people's opinion were not actually, sought after the time Nigeria was put together. Rather, some few individuals who were seen as leaders of various ethnic groups.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, sir. Continue, sir.
Yeah. Some few leaders who were
Yeah, we are
seen
still
as
like
leaders of various ethnic groups in
the
within the geographical space
the
that is now
secretary is
known
talking now.
as that is now known as Nigeria were put together,
Okay. Maybe, should I
and
send you another link?
like you're on course, sir.
Okay, just a moment.
Can I continue, sir?
Continue, sir. Just
Yes. So I was saying that some leaders of various ethnic groups who were seen as voice were used in bringing about this country called Nigeria. Before this time, it is known to everyone that Benin, as an empire, had vast land that was being ruled over by the Oba, with powers delegated to various dukedoms and other several kings as well, also holding portion of the empire in respect of the Oba, while also having towns and villages headed by the Odionweres or Kao or hence, as the case was and as it still was, even though the power to actually function has been batally reduced by the Western system of government that was forcefully introduced to Nigeria.
yeah,
I would say Nigeria creation was done by error, and as such, I see no reason why the existence should not also be living on error. That is why you see the modern day politicians not mean anything different from that which they inherited from those who inherited same from the British. The only difference is that it is getting worse.
exactly.
Before now, I would say even before the military era, the political class in Nigeria were not actually interested in uniting the entire ethnic groups within the geographical space called Nigeria today. Rather, each of them were busy see how best they can make their various ethnic groups the most superior and mighty one in the society. We have people like Awolowo, popularly known as Awo, people like Nnamdi Azikiwe,
Yeah,
Ahmadu Bello. They were not actually interested about the unity of Nigeria. Because why did I say so? We have reports and statements made by each and every one of these people. Zeke, as a person, was only after the Igbo's interest.
yes,
Awolowo was after the Yoruba's interest. Ahmadu Bello was after the Hausa Fulani's interest. And as such, that has been redocumented and rearranged into the Nigeria constitution that we have today. I, as a person, I do not see that 1999 constitution as a constitution. It was actually a military declaration 24 that was transferred and presented to us by the Abdulsalami Abubakar military government, which the Obasanjo government of 1999 inherited, put together by 25 people, with the first word in the constitution indicating a proper lie. This it states, "We the people of Nigeria." Now, in a real sense, if a nation is to have a constitution, constitution is not something that few individuals put together without the consultation of the people
Sorry.
who have voted to lead. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you. Continue, sir.
The constitution is not something that few individuals will just put together. Yes, the National Assembly have the right to enact the law, which is the parliament. They have the right to enact the law. Do they have the right to enact laws without the people's opinion? The answer is no. For a constitution to be enraged and sustained in a true society, you have to take a yes or no affirmation question to the people and seek for their opinion. We are aware what made the Midwest a region in 1963 was due to the plebiscite that was held in that year. Before the plebiscite was held to know if the Western region at that time can be able to bet out Midwestern region. An assessment was made to know if or whether the Midwest can be able to cater for their need without being a burden to the federal government or being a burden to other existing 3 regions. The committee that was set up at that time have to tour the entire Midwestern region, which is made up of Edo and Delta today, and part of Bayelsa State. The report came out clear that the Midwest is more than efficient and capable to handle the affairs and well-being of the people. To this end, a plebiscite was allowed to play, for which a landslide victory emerged, which led to the creation of the Midwest. Now, when we talk about marginalization, I laugh when a lot of ethnic groups today talks about marginalization. It is appalling that they refuse to acknowledge the fact that the Midwest, which is now Edo and Delta, from the defunct Bender State, are the most marginalized region in Nigeria. Now, I am not going to talk about the South, all of the thing, because when we talk about South, I will be missing it up generally. We know very clearly we had 4 equal regions in Nigeria before states were being created. We had 4 equal regions. That was to say that they have equal representation, like the Vice President said.
Yeah.
We have premier, each of the regions had premier and all that. But what do we have today or later? Mind you, 2 other regions were proposed to be created at that time. 2 other regions were proposed, which were not done before military intrude into the governmental system of Nigeria. Please let me get my charger. My laptop battery is running down.
Okay. Yes. Before the issue with the reform or the restructure of Nigeria, each region be having power over their resources. The Midwest or the yes. Okay, it's back again. You can continue
Okay.
where it stopped. So you're welcome back.
Okay, sir. That is true. Each region were in control. That is why it was called region, created by laws. And the 3 regions before the Midwest were illegally created because there is no constitutional backup to date that shows that the northern region, the eastern region, and the western region had a legitimate creation that backed it by law.
Yes.
There was no plebiscite, no referendum. It was a mere pronouncement, a political arrangement, and it was not constitutionally created.
Exactly.
But the Midwest was constitutionally created, which made the Midwestern region the more legitimate region in Nigeria as we speak. And the Midwest is the only region in Nigeria as we speak that has the legitimate right by all standards to apply to the United Nations for self-determination without argument.
Yes.
And if the Midwest, which is Edo and Delta today, and part of Bayelsa, should do that, the Nigerian government will have no choice than to come to dialogue table. They have no choice. If we should apply to the United Nations for that, Nigerian government have no choice because the facts are clear.
Yes.
It is not a jamboree agitation. We are not agitating for that, but we want to make it clear. I want to use this medium to make it clear to everyone that by our standard, we are more marginalized than any other region. For example, I am going to give analysis and prove why and how the Midwest, which is the present Edo and Delta, are the most marginalized people. When people talk about development here and there, we must agree to the fact that when the regional system of government was in place, which Yakubu Gowon started creating states. When he created states, the Midwestern region remained as one. No state was created. They only changed it from Midwest to Bende. It was the same. They changed it from a region to a state. Midwestern region suddenly became Bende state at that time. Meanwhile, states were created out of Eastern region and out of Midwest, out of Western region as well. As at the time, as I speak, the Eastern region of old today have 9 states in Nigeria. The Eastern region, we talk about 4 equal regions. Now
Yes.
the Eastern region have 9 states as we speak today. The 9 states are the 5 Igbo speaking states and 4 other states that now fall under Niger Delta. That is why I said earlier that I'm not going to miss it up, because when we talk, it's a different thing from talking about the region.
Yes.
I know under Abacha's government, military government, that was when the so-called political, geopolitical zone of today was created. The 6 geopolitical zones were created by Abacha government. It was created as a mere deception of trying to make the people feel the country to be built, united, and all that. Abacha actually did it to make himself the head of state while having vice presidents, 6 vice presidents, 1 representing each of the 6 geopolitical zones. That was his plan, and it wasn't hidden. He had wanted to become a president while having 6 different vice presidents, each of them coming from each of the geopolitical zones. That is how he created the Northeast, Northwest, North Central, Southeast, South, and Southwest. Today, in the whole Eastern region, like I was saying, have 9 states today.
Yeah.
Old Western region have 6 states today. Old Midwestern region have just 2 states today, which is Edo and Delta. 2 states. That is to say, in a region that used to have 1 premier, now have 9 governors. In a region that used to have 1 premier, now have 6 governors. In a region that used to have 1 premier, the Midwest, now have just 2 governors. So where is the equality in terms of regional status that was built and organized before 1966? We can see clearly that the Midwest is marginalized in terms of the numbers of governors we have today, because we have just 2 against others. Now, by creation of states, a region that used to be a region of her own, Edo State today, as it stands, have 18 local governments. Delta State, as it stands, has 25 local governments. If you equate Edo and Delta numbers of local government together, that is to say, the Midwest today is having just 43 local governments. I don't know if you are getting me, sir.
Yeah, I'm getting you. I'm getting you.
Now, Eastern region, which was also a region at that time, now have 9 states. 5, like I said, from the Igbo-speaking part. These 5 put together have 95 local governments, which is less than half of the Eastern region. By landmass, less than half of the Eastern region. The 5 Igbo-speaking states have less than half of the Eastern region by landmass. If you put Edo and Delta together by landmass, even though part of the Midwest has been ceded for the creation of Bayelsa, by the current landmass of Edo and Delta put together, we have 35,500 square kilometer Edo and Delta landmass put together. You get it?
Yes.
Why the five Igbo-speaking states today have 29,525 by landmass, the 5 states put together.
Yes.
Edo and Delta is larger than the 5 Igbo-speaking states put together. Now, we are talking about marginalization. These 5 Igbo-speaking states have 95 local governments, while Edo and Delta have 43. 100 million naira goes to each local government monthly as allocation. That is to say, these 5 Igbo-speaking local governments are getting 9.5 billion naira monthly, while Edo and Delta is getting 4.3 billion to local governments. The other 4 local governments are made up of the old Eastern region, which now fall under South-South, which are Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Bayelsa, and River States. These 4 states put together have 64 local governments. That is to say, they get 6.4 billion naira monthly to local government. By the time you add this 6.4 billion naira to the 9.5 billion, put it together, you see that the whole Eastern region have more, far more than what the Midwest are getting today. And because they have more states than us, they have more states than us, they have more governors, they have more senators. Each state, by the 1999 Constitution of Nigeria, even though it remains illegal, enable every state to produce 3 senators each. Because the Midwest of old, which is now Edo and Delta, we now have just 6 senators. How can 6 senators serve as a majority in the midst of multitude out of 109 at the National Assembly? We have just 6 senators. The 5 Igbo-speaking states have 15 senators, while 12 comes from the other South-South states. If you have these 12 to the 15 of the Igbo-speaking part, you have 27 senators. Comes from the Eastern region, whole Eastern region, 27 senators. While the old Midwest have 6. Also, you have House of Representatives. We have 360 House of Representative members in Nigeria. I am going to give the landmarks of these states. You will see how who is being marginalized. Those states, like I said, have 17,802 square kilometers.
Yeah.
17,802. While Delta State have 17,698. Like I said, if you put these 2 together, you have 35,500 square kilometers. Now, let me give you from the eastern region, the landmarks from the eastern region, specifically first from the Igbo-speaking parts. Like I said, if you put Edo and Delta together, it is larger, still larger than the 5 Igbo states put together.
Yes.
Enugu State. Enugu State is the largest that comes from the 5 Igbo states. Enugu State by landmass have just 7,161. Enugu State. Yet Enugu have 17 local governments. Edo State, that is 17,000 by landmass, have 18 local governments. Enugu, that is 7,000 by landmass, have 17 local governments. We have here Abia State. Abia State by landmass have 6,320 by landmass square kilometer. They also have 17 local governments. That is to say, if you share Edo into 3, is one part of Abia. Yet, they have 17 local governments, while Edo have 18. They have more representation than us. Ebonyi State is just 5,670 by landmass. Ebonyi State have 13 local governments. Imo State, the second smallest local government in the 5 Igbo speaking states, have 5,530 by landmass. Guess what? Imo State have 27 local governments. So if 1.8 billion is going to Edo State 18 local government monthly, the Imo State is getting 2.7 billion to local government monthly. Imo State alone, 2.7 billion. Anambra have 21 local governments with just 4,844. 4,844. On record, Anambra is the second most smallest state in Nigeria. The only state Anambra is bigger than is Lagos State. Lagos is the smallest.
Yes.
In Nigeria. Lagos have 27 local government not to law, even though Tinubu created additional 20 as a governor, which is not approved by federal government. Though it is running, the state are funding that. But not to law, that the Nigerian law is 27. At the national, you want to say something, sir?
Oh, we can't hear him.
Yeah, I can't hear him.
Yeah.
So, at the National Assembly, Federal House of Representatives, I also have detailed reports here. Each of the local government representatives, their names, the names of the House of Rep members, the names, the local governments they represent, their various constituencies, the states. I have the list here. It is very clear, obvious. Edo State only have 10 House of Rep members. Delta have 11, making 21 from the eastern region, from the whole Midwest. Just 21 representatives at the Federal House of Rep. Meanwhile, each of those states I just mentioned, some of them have more members, like Anambra, that is the smallest state. Anambra is the smallest state apart from Lagos in Nigeria. Let me say the second most smallest state with just 4,844 square kilometers against Edo State that is 17,000 plus. Anambra have 24 members, 24 House of Rep members. 24.
Yeah.
But yet, these are the people that will talk of marginalization. We saw the primary that was held. The primary that was held by the APC. Anambra have over 50 delegates. Imo have over 50 delegates. Likewise, other states from the east. Ebonyi have 39 delegates. Guess what? Out of all the Easterners that contested in that primary, with the numbers of delegates put together, the Eastern representative, or let me say the aspirants, which is the governor of Ebonyi State and one other man from Ebonyi as well, only scored 39 votes. The governor scored 38, while the other man, I can't remember his name, scored just 1 vote. That is to say, and Rochas from Imo scored 0.
Yes.
That is to say, out of the 50 delegates from Imo where he governed before now, none voted for him. And none also voted for Ebonyi governor, who is an Igbo. None voted for other representative. At this time, you begin to wonder, because they cry of marginalization. Who is marginalizing who?
Exactly.
Are their people, their delegates, their politicians having the interest of the eastern part at heart? The question is clearly no. It is no, because if the delegates wish to have their person in power, they will all vote. The vote would have reflected the numbers of delegates in Imo, in Anambra, and other parts would have reflected in that primary as a case study that they are willing to have their person. The Tinubu's vote would have been reduced. He might have won due to the stepping down primary that was held. He might have won, but it would have been seen that the Igbo delegates voted for their own, but
Yes.
rather they took the vote, they shared it between Tinubu and Lawan, like the Abia's delegates
Yeah.
were all instructed to vote for Lawan. They gave it to Lawan. While the Imo's delegate gave theirs to Tinubu, Anabra's delegate gave theirs to Tinubu. They shared it without voting for their own. Tomorrow they come out and tell us they are being marginalized. When they as a group cannot wake up to get a consensus candidate for themselves, for the rest of the country to support. That is the only region where 50 people will be contesting to be governor in a state. That is an act of greed, act of
Yes.
selfishness, an act of one seeking to have it all without the consideration of the fact that in the midst of many, only one can lead. Our personal interest as politicians in Nigeria must be put behind the interest of the people, not putting the interest of the people behind us. When you put the interest of the people behind us or behind you as a person, there's no way the interest of seeking to remember the people will reflect in our activities. Only when we put the people front, that is when we can reflect and always have that peak to make the people smile. The political setting in Nigeria today has been bastardized
Yes.
to the extent that we no longer have hope. That is the truth. I saw a comment a while ago while I was having technical issues here. I saw a comment that someone wrote that the Nigeria youth are weak. Someone also replied saying that what do you expect them to do? Something like that. The truth is, when one finds his or herself in the state of confusion, it can actually lead to weakness.
Yes.
But I must also say that Nigerians youth are not weak. Rather, they are not willing. We do not have the willingness to act. And one of the things that is drawing us back is because youth in the Nigeria polity today are the ones assisting the elderly to loot the nation. I can tell you, I played a grassroots politics before I left Nigeria. My kind of person, I don't engage in things that has to do with malpractices. My interest as a person is to see how things can be better. You see, I can categorically say that the youths that are waiting to get to power and use the opportunity to better themselves are far more than the elders that are hitting us dry today.
Yes.
That is the basic fact. Many people today who say the youth, they want youth to be president, they want youth to be governor, they want youth to take care of the entire system and structure. The fact remains that the elders that are destroying our politics today were youth when they started playing the politics.
Exactly.
They were youth. They started as youth,
Yes.
but because they have tasted power and they are benefiting so much from the system, they rather die than to see them live and have somebody else, whether youth or not, to just come and take that opportunity. And the youth of today, majority, I will say majority, I will not say all, but majority that are involved in politics, by all standards that they follow, which are abnormal, is to ensure that they surpass the corrupt elders when they, if opportune to be there. To surpass them in corruption, not for betterment.
Yes.
Because we have not found ourselves in a situation whereby the system has been under a structural plan of whoever comes in will take his or her benefit, leave. The next person comes, will take and leave. They don't care about the future. Nigeria is dying, to be
Yes.
frank. Nigeria is dying because the way things are going now, a time will come, people will start hitting themselves. Politics do not know religion. Politics do not know tribe. It does not know ethnicity.
Yes.
It does not even know brother. The way Amana politics is played in Nigeria is played to gallery, that we only become friends when there is time for campaign. Nigeria politics is a case of all for the greedy and nothing for the needy. We now have a system that produced more corrupt leaders than true leadership. Very soon, campaign will come. People will start sharing rice. People will start sharing maggi, salt. These are things that ordinarily, if the society is better, is good for the common man. If you share it during your campaign, nobody will take. But I can tell you that because the system has become so porous, corruption, poverty has now been sustained. Many people are just waiting for campaign to come now so that they can have the opportunity to grab rice. Many
Yes.
people are already planning now for that election day so that they can have the opportunity to get free 1,000 naira. That is the truth. Without even knowing that they are dead in that country. It is really,
Yes.
really, really tantamount and delirious to the hearts of those who think and have human feelings that the situation of the country, politically, economically, and otherwise, I tell you, the situation has become so worse. Somebody, as at 2000 and between 1999 to 2007, somebody who was a PA, personal assistant, is today a governor and was even trying to be president, contested with Atiku the other day.
Yeah.
As at the time, he was a PA to somebody who was the Minister of Aviation. I know, and I was always traveling with my boss. I know them. I'm speaking of the person of the current governor of Bauchi State. He was a PA to Issa Yeguda when Issa Yeguda was the Minister of Aviation. My former boss at that time was appointed, who is a friend to Issa Yeguda, as the MD, Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria. I may not make sure his name. He's also from Bauchi State. Bala Mohammed was a PA to Issa Yeguda. If not by systematic corruption and all that, we all saw what happened, even in the primary that was held. So the issue of we shouting all the time about Nigeria, it is far beyond shouting. We need action. But it is unfortunate that those that are coming up in the name of youth to say you want youth to be this, I can tell you, all of them are deceptive. They are very deceptive, trying to live under the auspices of youth for leadership to attain. By the time they attain, forget them. Politics have now been seen as an avenue to easily exploit the people, And first they seek to attain. When they attain, they leave the cat out of the bag. Then you begin to see the real person in them.
Yeah.
How many, let's ask ourselves, I have seen campaigns in Europe, how politicians campaign. How many politicians will you see in Europe kneeling down for voters? They go on campaign, they kneel down and say, please vote for me.
Never.
Their interest is to go there, they present their speech, the message they have, they tell you what they want to do. If you buy into it, you vote for them. If you don't buy into it, it's not a big deal. It
No.
is what they think is best for the people at the time that they will present, their strategy they present. But in Nigeria, we were talking about royal fathers issue. In Nigeria, you see politicians, they only go to royal fathers to seek for blessings, not that they respect them.
No.
They don't respect them because their activity speaks. It shows that their interest of going there is just to play to gallery, for people not to say they didn't come. We all saw what happened recently when Wike started his campaign indicating interest to be president. He went to Benin to inform our royal father. Tinubu came, he went to Benin. Our brother Dele Momodu also went to Benin, and several others.
Amechi and others.
Yeah, several others. But Atiku came. He never visited the palace. He only visited the governor. And the governor, who is the son of the land, supposed as a leader to make sure he bring Atiku to the palace. And if Atiku is sensible enough as a person, he would have also indicated interest. But I want to say publicly here today, I believe this is on air. I want to suggest, I do not have the power, but my opinion is my opinion, and it is my opinion. Nobody can change it, whether
Yes.
it is accepted or not. My opinion remains my opinion. When it is time, for campaign proper, I believe Atiku will want to visit the palace. That is when he will remember that there is royal blessings. I want to suggest whoever that will get this message should please help us tell our royal palace, our royal father, the Benin Traditional Council, that for Atiku to have ignored not coming to the aspiration bid for the candidacy, the palace should never also welcome him if he choose to seek for royal blessings before the election proper. The palace should not receive him because he failed the test. Him and Obaseki in this situation are cohort.
Yes.
Him and Obaseki are cohort. They have heard, and their errors must be made known to them that they heard. I want to solicit and urge our royal palace not to accept their intention. If they ever do, I know they will. When it is time for campaign, they will. Or let them go to Gamia Palace and seek for blessing there. Because I heard now that Obaseki is building Ogiamet Palace. Let him go and do that. I think we should go there. The hen shall tell. Obaseki only have 2 years plus. Only have 2 years plus to live there. He will live. The royal stool has been and will always be.
Yes.
To the same line of authority that God has instituted. While the governor is a come and go seat, it has no family line, and it also has no one particular political line. So therefore, I think with all that is happening in Benin Palace, we will say Inosogu Tukweran Igbe Osogo.
Yes.
Whoever goes to the base of a wood, of a tree, try to be shaking it, the person will end up shaking his or herself because the wood remain firm and can never be moved. Can never be moved. So no matter what they will do, they try to do, we all know that they are trying to play politics with the royal stool. That this is where the constitution. I have always said it, even before I left Nigeria. I've always said to people, if whoever wants to fix Nigeria must first of all fix the constitution. Nobody can tell me. We are talking about one economist. There is no economist that can fix Nigeria. That is the truth. Because
Yes.
what keeps a nation running, the thing that modify countries, that set out standard, rules, and regulation on how and when things should be done, is a constitution. Nigeria is like how will I put it? Is like a car that is placed on a wheelbarrow, and you ask the wheelbarrow pusher to push it. I don't see how imaginable it would be for a wheelbarrow to push a car, an heavy car. That is the situation of Nigeria. The constitution given to Nigeria cannot permit, because Nigerians are yearning now for somebody like Peter Obi. And yes, Peter Obi have the quality, his experience, he have the well know-how economically and all that. Is more than capable for the job. That is the truth. But if you take a look at the situation, Labour Party, where is contesting from, I don't even know if they have a councillor in Nigeria. I don't even know. But I know that they do not even have a local government chairman. They do not even have a House of Assembly member. They do not even have a governor. They do not even have a senator. They do not even have a House of Rep member. They don't have anything. No, let me tell you, in politics, I heard him talking about structure. The people are saying he has no structure. No political party can win without structure. That is the truth. You cannot win without structure. What are those structures? The people you just see chanting, take a look at it. How many people know him in the north? You cannot be president of Nigeria if you do not win north. It is not possible that you become president of Nigeria if you do not win in north. It is never possible. Even if you win the whole seat in south, then north is the key. Politics is a game of number. Let us not deceive ourselves.
Yes.
Politics is a game of number. If you don't have the numbers, forget it. And secondly, one cannot win election in the social media. You can't win an election in social media. That is the truth. Many of us talking here today, having this awareness, we are saying all this on here because we have access to social media.
Yes.
And majority of the people chanting Peter Obi, chanting on social media. Sowore did more than what is happening now, what Peter Obi is doing on social media. How did it end? It is not all about shouting Peter Obi, Peter Obi. We should look inwardly what is on ground. I will say, in my own view, Peter Obi miscalculated his plan of becoming president now. He should have started it long ago while remaining under a well-structured political party or seeking to form alliance. I learned that the alliance he was trying to form with Kwankwaso, with the NNPP, just collapsed now. Reason because I will be rounding off soon due to word of time. Yeah. Reason because Kwankwaso do not want to serve as Peter Obi's vice president. Neither do Peter Obi wants to serve as vice president to Kwankwaso. This is what we are talking about. That everybody wants to be the head.
Yes.
Nobody wants to be an assistant.
Yes.
We were even thinking if both of them should partner, at least Kwankwaso have ground in not just in Kano, but in the entire north. He would have been able to pull out votes for Peter Obi. Peter Obi would have been able to pull out votes from the east and probably get some votes from the south, although it would have still been difficult for them to win. But at least they would have been able to show that third force people are talking about. But the way it stands, I would say categorically here, Peter Obi goes nowhere. He goes nowhere. That is this basic truth. Because of the structure, the political structure we know that we have, it goes nowhere. Let us not deceive ourselves. The case still remains between PDP and APC. Not until Nigeria people come together, that constitution must be dismantled. And even if Peter Obi succeed, the entire youth of Nigeria succeed in giving him the mandate, how is he going to rule? It will be difficult for him to lead Nigeria because, one, we know he may have good intention. He has been tried and tested. He may also have good intention this time, but will the constitution allow him to govern Nigeria the way he wants it? Will the constitution allow him to govern Nigeria the way Nigerians want it? The question is no. Because the constitution have given so much abnormal conflict to itself, has given so much abnormal illegal right to the National Assembly to do and undo. Another question is, will he be able to twist the National Assembly that will be in his government to come to terms and conditions of the people by way of seeking to make the people happy? The question is no. We have in our country where even House of Rep members, people are talking about House of Rep members in Nigeria earn money more than the US president.
Yes.
Earn money more than the US president. If you convert what they earn in naira to dollar, it is still more than what US president take home every month. And the last time the US government increased their president and vice president's salary was around 2006. Ever since, whoever comes still earn the same thing. But in Nigeria, you now have a country where senators, a third world country, House of Rep members, not just senators now, earn more than US president. The vice president was talking about furniture allowance, various allowance. That is where the corruption lies. Their salaries shows 1 point something million. But by the time you put their take home together, a senator take home 13 point something million naira monthly. How can a country where you have people as governors taking pension, someone will work for 35 years, you pay that person 1 point something million naira as pension, as gratuity, while there are some states like in one of the northern states, I can't really figure out now, is getting 700, the ex-governor is getting 700 million naira as pension monthly. 700 million naira as pension monthly. That is what an ex-governor is getting. Pension monthly. Why? Somebody who work in the civil service for 35 years, some are getting 45,000 naira monthly. Why somebody who just ruled as governor for 4 years, if opportune, maybe 8 years. As far as you are a governor, the way they have now made it in Nigeria, whoever was a governor even for 1 month that was removed by court, they still put him on that pension. The state still pay as compensation. It is really appalling that Nigeria situation at the moment has run far more than decadency. We don't even know how to quantify the situation of the country's politics. That is, let me just stop here due to the worth of time. I don't know.
Okay, sir.
I feel really discouraged over the entire situation.
Yeah, we are discouraged and also a little bit sad about what is going on in our country. And I want to reinstate this. The governor of Edo State doesn't have the power uh, to create a chieftaincy title in Edo State. This power lies with the Oba of Benin, but the governor of Edo State has the right to suspend any chief in Edo State. So we have to put this clear. And the judgment of the Chief Justice of Edo State has reinstated. And I now understand that he made a mistake in his judgment when he was putting up the write-up. Now the write-up is fully corrected and stated that Arisco is not in any way in the position to take the title of Ogiame, because Arisco is not a blood of the Ogiame family. Although his mother is from Ogiame family, but he's not a child of Ogiame. Before Arisco could come.
You see,
Sorry, sir.
let me.
Okay, go on.
Let me say this: everything boils down to the same policies we are talking about.
Yes.
We know the rightful Ogiame is Osabo, wherever he is. May God bless him. No one can say that he's dead, not until confirmation is made. But I know that he has been away for almost 40 years now, or more than. Nobody is whereabouts. But I want to say, if he's still alive, there must be someone that knows his whereabouts.
Yes.
So we should consider that as a top secret that has been hidden from the public, because wherever he is, he must have contacts.
Yes.
That is the truth. Now, when Oba Eredewa joined his ancestors in 2016, that is when this issue of Arisco started. The
Yes.
truth remains that they did it because they haven't heard anything about Osabo, with all due respect, the Ogiamie that we know.
Yes.
The Benin's generally respect Ogiamie title and also know that the title is given to Ogiamie by the Oba. And it also have a role that it plays in the Benin custom and tradition, especially during the
Correct.
coronation. So when they got the tip that Oba Edewa joined his ancestors, that is when they started these things. They quickly want to install somebody as Ogiamie, which they have no traditional rights to do, and they have no legal right as well, according to the law, the Bender State law of 1963 at that time. They have no power to do that. They did it hoping that the palace would come to negotiating table with them.
Yes.
You don't negotiate with people unknown people. You negotiate with people you know. And also, palace don't negotiate with anybody.
Exactly.
Rather, the palace seek to do the right thing. There's no way Arisco can be an Ogiamie. One is only maternally related,
Yes.
not paternally. And two, what is his closeness with Osarobo if he were to be maternally related? What? Because the way I know, not just tradition, even by law of inheritance, if someone have no child, the next of kin could either be his brother, father, mother, or immediate cousin. That is the law of inheritance. Is Arisco directly a cousin to Sarobo? The question is no. He's not directly a cousin, neither is he the first cousin. It's maternally related because they felt Arisco is the stubborn one they can put up front. Who cooked up this whole idea were not actually the core Ogiamiens.
Yeah.
I would say the radicals among them did it even without the consent of the leaders of Ogiamie family. Arisco being rich, he felt he could do it with his money. That is why the government of Adams Ali Oshomole took Arisco to court. People should get this message clear. It wasn't the palace that took Arisco to court. Because some people are celebrating out of ignorance that
Yes.
Arisco has won the palace. They should understand that the palace never had hand in taking Arisco to court. It was the state government who toiled on the line of the part of the state gazetted law. They took Arisco to court. At this time, his government has withdrew the case. By law, we know that when two people are fighting in court, by all understanding, and one decides to withdraw, it shows that the one who withdraw the case are tired of prosecuting the case, or no longer have interest in prosecuting the case, or it also show a sign of defeat, like submitting to the other. That is what Obaseki had just done. Obaseki did it. To me, it is an act of stupidity for him to have done that. He did it thinking he was going to insult the palace with it, unknown to him that he is being stupid and bringing curse upon himself.
Okay.
No matter what he will do, I don't see how it will be possible, their plans. It will not be possible. They can try. They can even pay people on social media to talk nonsense, speak against the palace. It will not do anything, because the situation we find ourselves today, we know a lot of people, we now have a lot of mad dogs on social media speaking rubbish, what never was and what will never be. They begin to say them against the palace. Some of the people doing these things, when the palace, the President Oba came, he came to sanitize the system. The corruption under his father, due to old age and all that, at a point, the father of Ejiawa, blessed memory, wasn't handling cases himself anymore. So a lot of corrupt chiefs within the kingdom took that as an avenue to handle so many cases.
Yeah.
Some do it in their houses. They will say Eguatane. That is, the palace have said it. Meanwhile, palace never heard or said anything, knew nothing about those cases they handled and all that. They collect bribes a lot. But this Oba has handled cases himself and has punished a lot of chiefs, has relegated a lot, and has also, removed some chiefs from their positions. As a result of this, some of those chiefs who have now become saboteur to the empire and the entire people, the Benins in general, these are the people trying to fabricate and causing mayhem, for which they are not going to succeed. Arisco, as a person, is already out of the way. So it is only those who do not understand what is going on or do not have awareness of the entire situation that we applaud Arisco and his cohort. Obaseki himself will see the end of it very soon.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, sir. And thank you, our viewers, for staying with us. I think this is the longest live broadcast we have had. And thank everyone for your support. I will be coming back very soon during the weekend or maybe after the weekend. We don't know yet, but please stay with us. Don't go away. We have more for you, and then we have more analysis and more explanation for you. So thank you, Honorable Secretary. Thank you for your good job. The Vice President already left because of a network problem. And my thanks also goes to him. Yeah, and all to the executive leaders in the House and honorable members, I say thank you. And please subscribe and like our page. We are present in Facebook, in YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and so many more, like Preset and others. We are also present there. Please try as much as possible also to spread our message, to share our message so that people know more about us, know about our message and others. So thank you very much. So, Honorable Secretary, sir, your last statement to our people or advice so that we can round up.
Yes, well, I would say that let me urge our people, the people of Great Benin, wherever they should be moved over the nonsensical behavior. I celebrated his victory his second term, even though I never worked for him in his first term. In his second term, I can say I celebrated his victory. My polling unit where I vote in Nigeria, although I wasn't there, I know the role I played in ensuring that he won. But the way he is going, when you see something, you say something. I sincerely, with all respect and loyalty to our people and our kingdom, because we cannot have a state without having a kingdom.
Yes.
We cannot have Obaseki without having the kingdom. Therefore, whatever he does that is against the wish and will of the traditional stool, especially that which will affect the entire people of Benin origin, it should be denounced and at the same time be seen as a traitor.
Okay, sir.
Therefore, I urge everyone not to be weary in mind, because that which has been will continually be. The palace stool is unmovable.
Exactly.
We only understand that the constitution has done great damages to us by even placing the traditional council under the local government. That is why the state government across Nigeria always seek to relegate their monarch. We saw what happened in Kano State, how the governor reduced the emir of Kano by creating 5 equal emirates to weaken the governor, the emir, and later also removed the emir. So that is the politics Obaseki is trying to play, but we know that it cannot succeed. That is all for now.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I wish everyone a great day and a healthy day. And I wish to see you all in good health. So thank you and God bless you. So
Thank you, sir.